Cisco NAUI Section 1 Pre-Assessment Implementing Automation for Enterprise Networks, iOS XE-based Cisco devices. Question 1. Which command will be used to display which files will be in the next commit? So git add actually adds files to staging. Commit makes the commit. Git display, I don't remember this command, so git status is the correct answer here. Which two data formats are most commonly used in different APIs? XML and JSON, that should be the answer. REST is not a data format, SSH is not a data format, CSV is a data format, but not commonly used in any APIs. Which Python library will be used to simply connect to device via SSH? That should be netmiko. Netmiko is the such Python library. Requests is for HTTP, operating with HTTP protocol, and client is for netconf, and Flask is a micro web server built on Python. All right, question 4, we have some data here. Python's data structure, devices, inventory, device, and so on. Okay, examining the Python dictionary above, which command will return a version of the CSR1KV1 device? Okay, version. There is only one version here, which is this field. All right, so that should be devices, then square brackets inventory, then square brackets device, then square brackets 0, because this is a list and this is the 0th item of the list, and then again square brackets version. Okay. So out of these, of course, devices, inventory, device, then 0, device 0, correct. And then, of course, this one. So this is an object notation, and devices is not an object, it's a dictionary. So this is the correct answer. Question 5. Match each XML library with an example of how to parse data with the specific XML library. Okay, there have been 4 XML libraries covered in the course. And let's see, so I'm not sure I remember all of them exactly, but so we have XML2Dict, Element3, Minidom, Untangle. I worked with some of them, but not with all of them. Okay. So one which definitely use things like get element by tag name. It's very similar to JavaScript, and this is called Minidom. So I'm going to close that and select this one as Minidom. Username seed data. So this library converts basically XML into an object, and we can just use the object approach to access items. So that probably should be this is I think that should be Untangle, right? That's probably Untangle for me. Then we have this one, user find. That's, I think this one is elementary, right? And this one is username. It basically converts everything to a dictionary. And the last option here is XML2Dict. Well, yeah, makes sense even from the name. Okay, not very sure about this. Yeah, not huge experience, but should be it. Question 6. Which two functionalities does Postman offer? Okay, testing and API service. Definitely yes, we can do that. Composing HTTP requests. Definitely yes, we can compose arbitrary HTTP requests in Postman, including specific request URLs, HTTP methods, headers, fields, and all kinds of stuff. Hosting a public API service. No. Intercepting and forging API requests. No, Python doesn't do that, and Python doesn't work with TCP either. Question 7. Which of the following Ansible modules runs command on remote devices running Cisco iOS? It is the module called iOS command. I think, if I recall correctly, the module is called iOS command, but under the module next field, next item is commands, and then you specify the list of commands to execute. So that should be the correct answer. All right, what is the following commands is used to run the Ansible playbook? Ansible playbook, this is the command. But I think also, so Ansible, if I just use Ansible command, it runs a task. I understand I didn't practice a lot, but Ansible, just the Ansible command runs a task. If we want to run a whole playbook, we should use Ansible playbook, but also I think this is possible. All right, I can just use Ansible and then probably specify this second option, like playbook. Maybe this is something a kind of newer feature or something like that, but definitely our go-to solution is just to use the Ansible playbook executable. Question 9. Which of the following Ansible modules manages the Cisco iOS configuration sections? iOS config, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, that should be it. iOS command is to just execute some kind of show commands primarily, and iOS config is to make changes in the configuration. I'm not sure about two others. Maybe they don't exist at all. Which programming language is installed in guest shell by default and has a built-in library for interacting with Cisco iOS XE software? It's Python, of course. It's built-in. This built-in library, if I recall, as I recall, it's pretty limited. Like really bare bone stuff. Okay, question 11. What are two use cases for the guest shell? On box Python, definitely yes, we can run Python right on the router or switch or whatever box we have using guest shell. Faster Ansible playbooks, no. Ansible playbooks are executed from outside, right? And Ansible would SSH into the box and then do the tasks. Zero touch provisioning, this is another correct option. ZTP, zero touch provisioning, is one of the options for day zero provisioning, more general term. And ZTP specifically boots a router, and then router downloads, accesses a server, like I think it's HTTP, downloads a Python script from the server and then executes this Python script locally on the box within the guest shell, right? And this within the script, we can do whatever we want, like apply configuration, maybe download some parameters from anywhere, all kind of stuff. Okay, slower automation doesn't make sense. Competently strategize emerging functionalities. That sounds like a gibberish to me. All right, question 12. Which Cisco iOS XE functionality is useful in triggering Python scripts from events that occur within the Cisco iOS XE software? This is, of course, EEM applets, Embedded Events Manager. Embedded Events Manager is just an iOS XE, just kind of CLI level feature. It can do different things like react to some events with specific sets of actions, which can be formulated as maybe sets of commands or something like that. And not only that, but also kind of send log messages and many other things. But one of the actions which is possible to indicate in a CLI level EEM script is to, hey, go ahead and call and execute this Python script in the guest shell, right? So that's what it is. Which open source tool can be used to build a reliable streaming telemetry infrastructure? Okay, so that should be definitely Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka is the software which manages or data streams, right? With rapid exchanges of real-time data. Messaging bus and the elk stack, or elk. So K should be elk. I'm not sure what this acronym is, but there's kind of a further steps in processing of this data. To be honest, in my opinion, the overall model-driven telemetry model, it looks a bit complicated from the outside when it gets to kind of implementing this. It's, yeah, I feel like it's a bit intimidating for network engineers, can be intimidating for network engineers because there's a lot of stuff. And like, hey, this is a very cool thing. Let's just, like spin up these Docker containers with this software tool and this software tool and this one, and also Grafana to make the visual representations of everything and have their custom dashboard. Yeah, this all sounds cool, and I'm sure it's very much doable. If need be, I have no doubt I personally would be able to implement this solution. But like, it's a bit frightening in the beginning. I can understand it that it can be a little bit frightening in the beginning because like a lot of software world technology is involved, and kind of, yeah. So for sort of classic network engineers, this may be a little bit too much. So anyway, this is good. Question 14, which type of data encoding is provided by RESTconf but not netconf? So netconf operates with XML and RESTconf operates with XML and JSON. Therefore, the answer to this question is JSON. What are two types of subscriptions? All right, so configure dial streaming, dynamic dial out. There are actually two types of subscriptions, right? They are static and dynamic, but they also have another two names. So dynamic is what happens when we log into the box with netconf, right? And for just this netconf session, we create a subscription to receive streaming telemetry just within the life cycle of this netconf session. So this is dynamic, and it's also called dial in. Yes, dial in, because we are dialing into the box and then we receive the subscription. So dynamic and dial in. And another one type is static, and it is also called dial out. And that's what basically is configured on the box, either through a netconf connection or maybe just directly through a CLI. And then it's just, it's part of the box configuration, and just sends telemetry in a specified way to a specified receiver, right? And again, this is called static, and another name for the same thing is dial out. Match the Cisco Network plug and play element to its description. So Cisco Network plug and play is another option for day zero provisioning, and it's all about having a box to discover the network controller. So this is for software-defined networking, and then basically kind of what's called register with the controller, and then work with the controller. That's the idea. Okay, so, and there are definitely some elements or terms within this. A central server that encodes the logic of managing and distributing deployment information, images, configurations, files, and licenses for the devices that are being deployed. Okay, so cloud services, that should be the server, right? Cisco Network Plug and Play server, that's what it is, very simple. An open standard protocol, Cisco Network Plug and Play protocol. That's what it is. It helps configure Cisco devices with bootstrap configuration and triggers remote branch deployments. Which one is this? Cloud. I'll go the other way. The Open Cisco Network Plug and Play agent is an embedded software component in Cisco devices. Cisco Network Plug and Play agent, no surprise here. And now we have these two. It redirects the Cisco Network Plug and Play agent to the correct server after the device boots up. I think this is the cloud services. Yes, it redirects the agent of the to the correct server after the device boots up. And this one then should be the mobile application for iOS and Android devices. So this is basically helps configure with a bootstrap configuration, triggers remote branch deployments. Yes, I think that's what it is. So there's basically an application on Android or iOS, which, as I remember, you connect your mobile phone to the box with sort of special cable, and it bootstraps the box basically. Just does some initial pre-configuration, pre-initialization with the box to, as I understand, primarily just to make it able to talk with the internet, and then maybe some authentication information also included. Not sure, but that's basically it, right? And then after this is done, the box already completes the full configuration from the controller. Which two protocols are used by ZTP to download the Python script? I think HTTP, and I have mentioned this already. Another one is probably TFTP. I have a little bit of a doubt that this could be FTP, but I am more inclined towards TFTP. I think it's two options to configure HTTP and TFTP. There we go. All right. Question 18. Match the new device provisioning day of operations with this definition. Device onboarding, service provisioning, monitoring, analytics. Very simple. Device onboarding is day 0. Service provisioning is day 1, when we kind of make sure all the needed services are being configured and started and brought up on the device. And then day 2 and ongoing, it's basically operation of the device, monitoring, and analytics. All right, was it? Okay, that was 100% overall. Great.